Move over McDonald's and bye-bye Burger King. There's a new generation of chain restaurants in town, and you'll see their names everywhere in 2026. Back in 2023, the total footprint of Culvers encompassed no more than 24 states, with the company's presence hyper-focused on the Midwest. That was still generally the case in 2025, albeit less so than 2 years prior. The company's reach had extended to 26 states, with new locations for the year including restaurants in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina.
Butterburgers, frozen custard, how can you possibly go wrong?
That same year, Culvers revealed that its total number of new openings for the year would add up to between 50 and 60 restaurants in total, and this impressive pace is expected to continue in 2026. Culvers already has plans in place to open in Arizona, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Texas. On top of that, the company intends to grow further in the southern states it had prioritized in 2025, alongside a continued expansion in the Midwest. Culvers may still retain some of its regionality going forward, but in 2026 at least, those signature Butterburgers and frozen custard desserts will be available to a wider customer base than ever before. Somewhat confusingly, Houston, Texas Hot Chicken was founded in Las Vegas in 2020. More than anything, this was a strategic choice based on the fact that while LA was flooded with hot chicken options, the Vegas market was lacking. As of late 2025, the chain's footprint was projected to reach a total of 34 restaurants, and plans for an additional 15 to 20 locations are in place heading into 2026.
I love their waffle shake. I crave it every morning. I don't know if it counts as breakfast, but...
Houston, Texas Hot Chicken is hoping to grow at a rate of between 50 and 60 new locations per year in the years following 2026. For Californians and residents of some nearby states, El Pollo Loco may already be a part of the everyday restaurant landscape.
I think it's great. I think we need this here in Lompoc. I'm happy to have it here.
The brand's total number of locations sits at around 500, with nearly 400 of those restaurants in the Golden State. And in 2025, El Pollo Loco managed to secure about 10 new locations. Even while that number isn't especially huge compared to some other chains, it nevertheless marked the company's most significant growth in 3 years. This is just the start of what the company sees as a continuing trend. Heading into 2026, El Pollo Loco hopes to double its rate of expansion, with new openings planned for states like Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, New Mexico, Texas, and Washington. Key to the company's success is the operation of so-called targeted discounting. That means not lowering the prices of menu items across the board, but regularly offering deals on specific items or via specific apps. The company also has optimized how its stores operate, even managing to secure new leases in buildings formerly operated by other restaurants, reducing the overhead required to revamp them into El Pollo Loco locations. Thanks to these sorts of savvy business practices, El Pollo Loco is on pace for a truly impressive 2026. Of all the chains expected to balloon in size in 2025, Port of Subs is the oldest, even if its name might not ring a bell for most people. The company was founded in Sparks, Nevada in 1972, and it started franchising in 1985. As of late 2025, it had grown to about 135 locations, albeit mostly congregated in western states, with one Minnesota restaurant marking its easternmost outpost. Port of Subs was acquired by Area 15 Ventures in 2023, though, and its new owners plan on taking the brand national. Akin to Barrio Burrito Bar's master franchise model, Port of Subs' expansion will be led by regional developers, each of whom will spearhead a significant expansion in the region over which they have control. In mid-2025 alone, Port of Subs inked deals with regional developers for 40 new locations across Denver and the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, 50 new locations in Arizona, and 20 new locations in Virginia. So while you can expect to see a significant expansion in states where Port of Subs restaurants already operate, the brand will make a particularly big splash on its new frontiers in states like Virginia and Texas. Altogether, these deals will ensure that 2026 marks Port of Subs' most significant expansion since its foundation. Turns out, Shaq isn't just a Papa John's guy. The basketball legend may be the namesake of a pizza over at that company, but he's also a co-founder of the fast food chicken chain Big Chicken.
I have our world-famous Big Cookie. It's the circumference of an actual NBA basketball, 9.55 inches.
For a fast food business, Big Chicken is relatively new, first opening in 2018. Yet, thanks to some of the big names and some input from a couple of major brand development companies, it seems that it might be about to grow significantly in 2026 and beyond. As of mid-2025, Big Chicken had 350 new locations in its long-term development pipeline. Following such a sizable expansion, the chain will have increased its total number of locations about tenfold. That said, Big Chicken already operates in 17 states, with an additional location in England and outposts on a few Carnival cruise ships. So, considering this significant geographical footprint, Big Chicken's 350 location expansion is more a matter of growing its existing markets than it is breaking completely new ground. Of course, only some of those planned 350 restaurants will open open in 2026, with the chain's total goal currently standing at 275 total locations by 2029. But with such rapid growth already in the works, 2026 will likely mark the beginning of Big Chicken's anticipated rise to power. Paris Baguette was founded not in France, but, of all places, in South Korea. As of 2025, it operates 4,000 locations across 14 countries on 3 different continents. As an Asian company, North America hasn't been its primary focus so far. Its U.S. footprint consists of just over 250 locations in total, but that's about to change in a big way, as Paris Baguette plans on opening 1,000 new bakeries by 2030, with the majority of that expansion slated to take place in the States.
They're sweet, they're savory, there's a lot of cool things in there with fruit going on.
In the short term, Paris Baguette secured deals for 170 new U.S. franchises in 2025. This came after it opened 19 locations in the first half of the year. Even greater growth is projected for 2026, during which the company will aim to open at least 150 new units. Part of that planned growth includes branches in 8 new states, which will bring the total number of states with the Paris Baguette to 34. Fueling this rapid expansion is the construction of a manufacturing plant in Burleson, Texas. While this won't be completed until 2027, it'll become the company's largest production facility overseas. Since its inception in the 1950s, Denny's has gone through its fair share of ups and downs. In 2024 and 2025, the diner chain experienced an especially severe downturn, closing about 180 locations in those 2 years alone. One way the Denny's company is looking to fight these problems is through the expansion of Keke's Breakfast Cafe, a brand it acquired in 2022 for over $82 million. Compared to the old-school vibe of Denny's, Keke's Breakfast Cafe is a relatively modern diner concept, serving the sorts of creative, Instagrammable entrees that increasing numbers of customers may expect from their diners. At the time of its acquisition, Keke's Breakfast Cafe consisted of a pretty sizable 52 locations, all albeit relegated entirely to Florida. While 2023 and 2024 were relatively quiet years for the company, approximately 20 new Keke's Breakfast Cafes opened in 2025, including branches in states like Colorado, Georgia, and Tennessee. Keke's Breakfast Cafe intends to increase its rate of growth by between 25% and 30% heading into 2026. A few locations are already in the works for California, for example, and more states are likely to follow. Bar Burrito first opened in Toronto in 2005, quickly growing to more than 375 locations across Canada. 15 years later, the company's American counterpart began operating in the U.S. under the name Burrito Bar before transitioning to the name Barrio Burrito Bar in 2024. Heading into the final quarter of 2025, Barrio Burrito Bar consisted of just 12 U.S. locations, but that number will grow significantly in the year to come. Key to Barrio Burrito Bar's expansion are its master franchise agreements, through which franchisees gain the rights to the chain's operation on a state-by-state or regional basis. As of 2025, Barrio Burrito Bar's 12 locations can be found in Michigan, Tennessee, Ohio, Iowa, Delaware, Florida, Connecticut, and Hawaii. Thanks to master franchise agreements in 17 states, some of which are divided by region, commitments are in place for more than 1,500 new locations. The chain's master franchisee in Pennsylvania, for example, signed on for 135 restaurants alone, while 107 more are planned for North Carolina. Of course, only a fraction of that 1,500 will open in 2026, but the number of new Barrio Burrito Bars could easily number in the hundreds if those master franchisees can fast-track the new restaurants. So while the company may be largely a Canadian curiosity for most Americans right now, its expansion is set to kick into gear in 2026. The chicken sandwich wars may be a relic of the past, but chicken chains on the whole are as hot as they've ever been. The respective successes of Houston, Texas Hot Chicken and Shaq's Big Chicken are testament to that fact. Also on the ups is Zaxbys. Unlike those other brands, Zaxbys is hardly new, with origins dating back to the early 1990s. Nevertheless, 2025 was a big year for the company, and not just because it decided to drop the apostrophe in its name. One of the key factors behind Zaxby's strong 2025 was its expansion into new markets. The brand has always been concentrated mostly in the South, so its ongoing growth benefited from new restaurants opening in the Southwest and Midwest. By the end of 2025, Zaxby's will have opened 50 new locations, and the chain plans on growing that number in 2026. Not only that, but its slate of new and planned openings includes restaurants in 6 new states, adding up to a total of 19 states marked by the Zaxby's flag. Moxies is a small boutique restaurant chain with a reach totaling 57 locations in North America, though 49 of those are in Canada. The company's success in that country comes thanks to its commitment to a level of quality unusual even for a chain specializing in upscale brunches.
So our guests can go in on any given night and just get the chance to taste things that they might not ordinarily taste.
Executive Chef Brandon Thordarson's resume includes a stint as head chef at the award-winning Monaco Moor Hotel in Scotland, as well as work on a menu for Canada's 150th anniversary celebrations at James Beard House. On the strength of its chef-driven food and drink offerings, Moxies made some gains in the U.S. market in 2025, and its growth in 2026 will continue that stateside expansion. Prior to 2025, Moxies' footprint in the U.S. had been constrained to Arizona, Florida, Massachusetts, and Texas. The first Moxies in Washington, D.C. is slated to open in late 2025, and additional locations in more states are on their way. In 2026, the company will begin operating in Chicago, Nashville, West Palm Beach, and Austin. Just as In-N-Out is practically synonymous with Californian fast food, Whataburger is an icon in the Lone Star State. Yet, just like In-N-Out, Whataburger is gradually creeping into markets beyond the borders of its home base. In 2025, Whataburger's growth revolved largely around expansion in existing markets beyond Texas, with new locations opening in Georgia and North Carolina, both of which had hosted a fair number of Whataburger restaurants prior. The company will continue to employ this strategy going forward, although plans for 2026 include a much wider expansion, with Whataburger branches opening in states such as Florida, Nevada, South Carolina, and New Mexico. Naturally, new Whataburgers are planned for Texas too, but it's becoming clear that the company's future will rely on markets located across the United States.